What is the biggest killer to Black love? What is the thing that is actually stopping Black men and Black women from building happy, healthy relationships? Hey, Jason, if you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me as I'm now resettling in Africa. I've been spending this last 2 years traveling around, going from country to country, and now I am settled in Zambia, which has its goods and bads. And if you want to know how to settle here, make sure you watch some of my videos. I'm walking you through the step-by-step process of the different things that I'm doing while I'm here. And most importantly, I've been opening back some of the layers of my book and explaining to you how I was able to build a happy, loving relationship that lasted over 15 years until the passing of my late wife, Cece. And so because I'm a big believer in Black love, I want to see my fellow Black brothers and sisters find love themselves. And so that's why I'm sharing this information with you. And so let's go ahead and dig into today's video. So most people think building a happy, loving relationship is based off their wants. And what I mean by their wants is what a person can do to make them happy. And most people now are starting to read the book about love languages and understanding their love languages, which is a great thing. However, it's not enough. Understanding your love language is never going to be enough. The missing thing that no one is talking about is how to effectively communicate in a relationship. And you may be like, well, no, I'm talking to people who speak English. I know how to speak good English. I know how to talk. I'm not talking about that. You can actually speak broken English, broken Spanish, broken any language, and you can still effectively communicate with someone if you understand this key thing. To communicate with someone is planting a picture inside of their mind. We think in pictures. We form ideas through pictures. This is one of the reasons why TV, social media, and all these different things are so addictive. We're getting constant pictures. That is the way we think, is through pictures. It's not actually through language. Language is just the way that we verbalize the picture that we're thinking in our mind. And so once you're able to give a complete picture to someone, they have complete understanding of you. And so what I mean by that is, think about a puzzle. Let's say if I have 1,000-piece puzzle and I shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, it's all discombobulated, and I just throw it in the air and let it fall all over the living room. Do you know what's on that picture? Do you know what that puzzle is showing? You're going to be confused. You might even just say, you know what, man, I'm tired of this. This is boring. And this is exactly how most relationships work. No one is giving each other a clear picture. People get tired and bored of each other. They're like, okay, I'm done with this. And most people try to substitute that lack of communication with, let's use sexual energy. Sexual energy is a great thing. It's a loving thing. But without complete pictures, sexual energy can only get you so far in a relationship. It will get burnt out. You will get tired of it, and that will be leading you to look for happiness somewhere else, which is one of the reasons I think most men and women are actually cheating on each other, because they're not having that effective communication. So because it's an incomplete picture in their mind, and most people are substituting that with sexual energy, that is making the opposite partner, the partner, actually bored, and they're looking for other people. And so now let's take the flip side of that. What if I have in a picture frame a complete puzzle already put together, worked out for you, and I hand it to you, and I say, tell me what you see? You're going to be able to look completely down, see that image in your mind, and you're going to be able to verbalize what you're seeing. That is the difference between a bad relationship or toxic relationship and a very happy, healthy, loving relationship. Happy, healthy, loving relationships, they have learned how to effectively communicate and put the correct picture inside their partner's head. And once you get so good at it, you go to more nonverbal communication in a happy relationship. 99% of the things y'all say can be through a meme, a GIF, or you just have certain gestures you do. Like, there's so much nonverbal communication in a happy, healthy, loving relationship that you don't even need to talk too much, which is a beautiful thing when you get there. And if you're a married person and you're at that level, let the single people know in the comments how wonderful that is. Like, to be able to effectively communicate without having to verbalize everything. It feels good. And so, how do you get to this communication level to where it becomes effective? Effective communication is the key. And that just means, remember again, you're putting a picture, the correct picture that you want your partner to see, and they're able to see that clearly as you're talking and communicating. And so the first thing you have to do is you have to build a base level of communication. And what I mean by building this base level of communication is you have to neutralize yourself. You have to stop the voices in your head. You have to stop reacting. Most of us react to the things that we hear. We don't use active listening. And what I mean by active listening is, and this is a two-step process. Active listening, you must stop thinking. You have to stop thinking and just listen to what they say. Now, you may want to interject when they're saying certain things, and this is how you do it. Most of us have been taught to interject as if we're in a political debate. Oh, blah, 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 blah. No. Just put, this is how CC and I used to do it. Whenever we wanted to communicate, we would just put a hand up. And I'm telling you, it sounds childish, it sounds weird, but what that is communicating to the other person. I'm putting her physically seeing my hand up was telling her, hey, you said something that I might not be so understand. I don't have the biggest grasp of understanding on, and so I need more information. And by when she would see that, she'd be like, oh, okay, what you want to ask me? And then she would see that I'm actively listening to the conversation. I'm engaging in the conversation. I'm not just saying, well, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. Because that's where a lot of guys, we feel like we're supposed to solve the problem. And a lot of time, women just want us to listen. They want to be able to throw ideas off. And so when you're actively listening and then you start engaging, you're asking questions about that thing, then that will make her be like, oh, wow. Okay, he cares about what I'm saying. And once you build that base level of communication, you can also do this step also. Have a safe word that you can say. Safe words that sound crazy. I know we see all of these things when it comes to sexual things, but like we're talking about the basics of a relationship. Because remember, we all don't grow up in the same socioeconomic levels. And also we don't grow up in the same families. Your mom, your dad, your brothers, your siblings, all of those things are different. And because we come from very unique dynamics, we have to create this base level. And to actually get that, having safe words to where there's certain things that each of us talk about that are going to arise emotions out of us, whether it's low level emotions of anger, hate, things like that, or high level emotions of happiness and things like that. And so, because you may not know what certain words are triggering someone, you need to have a safe word in that base level of communication to where it neutralizes both partners. One of the analogies I like to use is, think of it, you're shifting your car into neutral. You're going out of drive or out of first, second, or third gear, and you're going into neutral. The car is slowing down and it's just coasting. And that's what you want to do. You want to go from that high or lower emotions and go to this neutral standpoint and just coast. And because once you get a lot of those emotions out of it, you can actually start understanding each other a lot better. And so make a safe word. Don't make it a word that you're commonly using. Don't make it a word that anybody could guess. Like, make it a safe word that's unique to you as a couple. And it's just a shift down to let you know, hey, we may need to talk about something serious. I need some active listening right now, and we need to engage each other. You're going to see a very huge dynamic shift in your relationship because of that. Those little things of building the base level of communication. And let me just say this: signing a marriage certificate does not help you effectively communicate. That's just saying you're now in contract with the government on a tax purpose, on a tax level. A lot of us have been taught marriage is the end goal. Communication is the end goal. The better your communication, the more you're both willing to grow with your communication, the longer your relationship will last, and there will be a happy, healthy, loving relationship. And now the next thing is with communication is How do you effectively communicate with the next person? Now, this is where society has really done us wrong in relationships. Some of it is from systematic society issues, some of it is from cultural society issues, and some of it is just lack of neglect from society. And what I mean by that is men and women have been taught to communicate on different levels. We've been programmed of what a man or woman is from a physicality standpoint only. Like men, like you always hear little boys being told, "Don't cry, man up," or telling a woman, "You need to be soft, you need to be understanding, you need to be submissive." None of that makes sense. Like, let's be very clear. None of that makes sense. As a man, if I wasn't supposed to cry, I wouldn't have tear ducts. Let's just be honest. If I wasn't supposed to cry, I wouldn't have tear ducts. The creator would not have gave me tear ducts. And so like a lot of this nonsense has to stop. So first, as I'm going to break down from a male perspective, let me just say this. And this, when I'm speaking of men and women, not only in this video, but any other video, I'm speaking of 80% of the population. 80%, I believe 80% of people are good, and then you have that 20% you just want to smack upside the head. I avoid that 20% as much as possible. If I see I'm communicating someone that I'm lumping that 20%, I don't talk to them anymore. My time is very valuable. I have a very limited time on this planet in this physical form. I only want to spend it with people who are positive and wanting to go somewhere in their life. So I don't deal with 20%ers at all. And once you start actually thinking from an 80-20 rule, you'll see this applies in every aspect of life. 80-20, 80-20. And it's usually those are the ones you want to stay away from, the 20%ers that are not doing the greatest. And what I mean by man and woman, I'm talking about people who are employed, actively seeking employment, actively seeking to better their education, actively seeking a better hustle. And when I say hustle, I mean they may be into entrepreneurship, they may be trying different business ventures. All of those are, in my opinion, are men and women. And then most importantly, they want not only to be loved, they want to share love. And the reason why I'm talking about these group of men and women, these are people who, they know how hard it is to earn a dollar out here. They know how hard it is to try to do things on your own out here. So they're not trying to take advantage of you, and they don't want to be taken advantage of also. And so when I say men and women, that is who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the people that just want to mooch off someone, that guy that's just walking around with his little black plastic bag, going from couch to couch, living with his mother. I'm not talking about the women that are in the clubs just looking for a guy to finance a lifestyle that they cannot finance for themselves. So that is not the group I'm talking about. So please, you don't have to even talk about them in the comments. That is not the group I'm talking about. If that is the group that you keep finding yourself with, you need to question your socioeconomic levels that you're going into, and also go back and watch my video about dating pools. You're probably in the wrong dating pool, and that is why you keep finding that group of people. And if you look through social media, just remember this, that old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. That is a very small group in that 20%. They're getting so much attention on them. It's making people believe that is the majority. It is not the majority. There are so many great men and women out here. You just have to be able to find them. And I think a lot of times when you do find each other, the lack of effective communication through trauma of past relationships stop you from being able to come together, even though you both want the same thing and are generically saying the same thing, just using a different perspective of how you're saying it. And so because of that, and those are the group that I'm talking to, how do you talk to a man? How do you get a man to break that guard down? And what is a man asking for? Most men, if you talk to them and they just sincerely tell you what they're asking for, they're going to use this one word: support. Now, as a woman, you may hear that word and be like, I'm not looking to take care of no dude, bro. That's not what we're talking about as men. And remember, I'm talking about the men, the ones that hit those 5 criteria. When they say support, they just want a safe place. Because the workplace for men are just as hostile as women. It's equally hostile. And it's in different ways. It may be they're working a dangerous job where their life is on the line. And when you're in that place of adrenaline, and I can relate to this when I was in the military, it is scary. Some men are always in a place of feeling less than because, man, I don't know if I'm going to lose my job, whether it's being outsourced, whether it's my health. Like all of these different things are going through men's mind on a daily basis. And so, because they're having that stress, they want a safe place to go to. They want their woman to be their safe place. And that's what we mean by support. It doesn't mean you have to come with the money and things like that. It's just like, just let me know that I don't have to worry in case things go wrong. Like most men, their biggest worry is money. We've been taught from a very young age, you need to get money, you need to get money, you need to get money. Be a man. A man's supposed to have money in his pocket at all times. But people don't tell you how to budget, how to get your bills across. So one of those support systems is knowing like, look, I don't have to go give her this fantasy lifestyle that's on social media. When a man sees like, hey, she really wants me for me, and she wants to grow with me, she wants to help build me also. Because also if you help build a man, he's building you too. There's a give and take on both of those. So that is what a man means by support. And when he feels that, he's going to be more loving. You're going to see that softer side that you mainly desire. And one of the best ways to do it is just let them know like, yo, I got your back, man. We going to do this. And that's what a lot of men are asking for. I think even when a lot of men are saying they want a woman that's submissive, they're really just saying they want a woman they don't have to fight with. Like, I've been fighting all day at work. Don't have me have to come home and we fight again. Like, can we just, even if it's like, let's say Tuesdays is tacos day. Let's just go to a Mexican restaurant and have tacos. Or let's Thursday is the day we cook at home. I think that's what they're asking for. They're asking for order, stability. And I think a lot of women are confusing that word support, and they're not seeing a guy's just asking for stability. He wants a stable relationship that he don't have to be too stressed out on a daily basis. Now for women are asking for the same thing: safety, security, and stability. However, the stressors of a woman, most men do not see them. And the only reason I was able to start seeing them was because Cece and I, as we were working on our communication skills, learning how to effectively communicate, we were able to talk about the stressors of our days and understand them. And as a man, we don't go through the harassment that women go through on a daily basis. Also, for my black women, and this is something I think most black men need to understand, is a lot of black women are overeducated and underpaid. So I'm gonna give you a prime example. And I didn't understand this until I was with Cece. She was a social worker by degree. She had a doctoral degree, her licensed clinical social worker. She hit the cap of being a social worker. She worked for one of the biggest insurance companies in America, if not the world. And her boss, her supervisor, was a white woman with a bachelor's degree, was making 3 times as much as she was making. And the math ain't mathing to me, yo. I was like, how is that possible? Like, they're over you with a bachelor's degree and you're at the top of your field. It don't make sense. But this is some of the things that women are going through on a daily basis. And just imagine how frustrating that is. Someone who doesn't even have the comprehension that you have in your work, and they're trying to tell you how to do things. It doesn't make any sense. Also, the sexualization in the workplace that women have to go through. Even at this insurance company that was one of the biggest in the United States, if not the world, there was harassment on a sexual nature on a daily basis to certain black women in that company. Fortunately, they knew not to mess with Cece, because a lot of people see me when I used to drop her off at work, and they was like, yo, that's a big dude, he might hurt me. And everyone knew I was in the military because she let them know, like, hey, my husband is a war veteran. So I think that negated a lot of the problems for her. Yet a lot of her coworkers was experiencing that, and that still negatively affected her also. Because even in the back of her mind, I think sometimes it was like, oh, is this why I'm not getting paid more? Why is this not advancing as much? Like, you have to take into consideration as a guy, what is your woman going through? It doesn't mean go to the workplace and cause a scene, but just take into consideration from her perspective what she may be going through. And then just give you another example of how bad this is, as far as black women in the workplace as being overqualified and underpaid. When she worked for one of the nonprofits, and she was in a division that was helping. I don't know if I can say that. I'm not going to go into detail, but helping people in the communities. Her supervisor was an engineer degree, someone who had an engineering degree, and they was like 60, 70 years old. So we talking about they graduated 30, 40 years ago, and they're over social workers, and you have no comprehension of what that skill set is, what they're doing. You didn't know anything about the DSM or any other the technical things you need to know. Like, that is what some of our black women are going through, if not majority, on a daily basis. And that's frustrating. And so when they come home to their relationship, they want to feel safe, secure, and stable. They want to know, yo, my man is going to hold me down. Like, I'm stressed out as it is. Like, I can't be trying to do too much more. And so one of the best ways that you can actually make your woman feel safe and secure is the act of listening. And then on top of that, you want to actually do this one thing. And ladies, my ladies out there, let my guys know in the comment how serious this is, how much this really helps you. Guys, embrace her. And when I say embrace her, just when she come in, you grab her bags, you set them down, and you just hold her. You just put your arms around her and you just hold her for like 3 to 5 minutes. And just breathe. You'll start, let her chest be on your chest. You hold her tight. Don't suffocate her. Don't try to make it some WWE move or anything, but hold her tight to where she can feel your embrace. She can feel your energy. And then just breathe in and breathe out. Don't even say anything. And do that for like 3 to 5 minutes. And that's going to decompress her. It's going to let a lot of that stress just go away. You're going to create a heart sync with her. And when you have that heart sync, your breathing may get in tune together where you're both breathing in, breathing out. And that's just a natural way to let her relieve her stress. And this is a way to make a woman feel secure. Don't sexualize it. Don't grab her butt. Don't do any of those things. Just hold her. Women want to feel appreciated, but they also want to feel loved. And one of the best ways to love a woman is to embrace her. Women need actions. And those actions are very small actions, man. It's not them trying to ask you to move the mountain or go get this $1 million right now. It's just asking like, hey, can you hold me? Can you just listen to what I say as I decompress a little? Don't give me advice, just listen. And once you start doing those things, you're going to start seeing your relationship grow. And then once you start doing those things, the other thing you're going to start seeing is you're both going to start chipping away at little bitty pieces of who you are. And you're going to start filling those pieces with things that the relationship needs. This is what dating coaches, these pickup artists, and these people out here on the internet that are conning you about your woman need to do this, your man need to do that. They don't have a freaking clue because they never had a healthy, happy relationship. It is easy to sit here and talk bad about what the opposite sex should be doing instead of telling you what you should probably do to make that opposite sex feel like they're being heard, to feel that they're stable, to feel that they're safe and secure. No relationship will ever last if there's not stability, safety, and security. And so I hope you got value from this. If you have any things that you do in the comments that can help also, especially for my married people out here, leave them down in the comments. If you try some of this and if you believe it worked, let the people know, man. For my ladies, definitely let them know about the embracing. For the guys, let the women know if that's what you really mean when you're asking for someone to be supportive. We have to start creating this mutual conversation where it's not hostility. We can't keep arguing with each other and thinking that it's going to solve anything. Einstein said it best: doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome is insanity. There's so much black love out here, yet it's just out of hands grasp because we're not doing these simple things such as active listening, embracing, and doing effective communication. And so just remember, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.